Well, hey, good evening. Episode 74 of Wise Advice. I'm gonna go ahead and just like we do every time, we're gonna kind of get the show recorded here. We'll do it through Facebook. We'll start there. We'll go to the podcast, get that recorded, and then I'll come back to Facebook and answer it. So tonight's episode 74 is kind of different. I got 3 or 4 emails lined up that all deal with. One of them deals with Plateau, and so you know how I feel about the Plateaus, right? Hey, Susan, woohoo! You're here. Very cool. Yeah, your phone is supposed to say, "Hey, if you put on the alert." I told my wife and daughter earlier. I'm like, man, can I record the show early tonight so that I can go to bed at a normal time? And they agreed. So they're upstairs hiding. And I'm down here getting the show done, so we'll get the show done a little early, and then we'll all go to bed early, so that works out good. Hi, Marianne. How are you? Good to see you. Anyways, yeah, so we will get the show recorded. We'll come into... Cool, all kinds of people getting alerts. All right, so Robin got an alert. Catherine got an alert. Very cool. I think that's probably the best way, right? Is you set the alert up and say, hey, I don't know how you do it, but you do a what is it? You just say notify me, right? I think it's the notify me link, and then if you do notify me, the phone beeps and you say yay. So cool. My phone doesn't alert me, I guess. So Kirby's here. You were just about to ask where you hide who? My family? They're up there. You can see them right up there. They're up there. So they, Lisa need to take a couple of days off, trying to get caught up on all the podcasts. I think I listened to about 6 or 7 today. That's kind of crazy. So Facebook alerts will notify you, and then you can choose to do it or not do it. But Margaret says hi. So the topic is going to be, third email we'll get into is about plateaus. So what are your thoughts on a plateau? Let's talk about that real quick. I'll engage in conversation here real quick, and then we'll get the show recorded and go all through that. So what do you got? What's on your mind? What's going on? Margaret says, yay. I like that. So let's see. It is Monday night. It's early. You're on a plateau. It's Neetha, right? That's how you pronounce it, right? Neetha. So Neetha's on a plateau. What does that mean? Explain to me why. Describe to me your plateau. Let's talk about that. Because they do exist. I agree with that. I think a lot of us don't use the term correctly. I'll just go out and say it. I think when we talk about plateaus, I think a lot of times the plateaus that we're on are a lot of times the plateaus are us not following the plan to the same intensity that we started the plan on. So think about Steven's here. Hey brother, how are you, sir? Good to see you. But I think if we start the plan, when we first start the plan, right, we track everything, we weigh everything, we measure everything, we don't skip a meeting, and then slowly we go to the point where we're not tracking the same, right? So we go to dinner, and all of a sudden we have one extra potato chip, or reach across and grab something that we wouldn't normally have, and maybe we don't track it. Maybe we grab an extra M&M, whatever it is. I think that a lot of times people consider that to plateau. And if you remember, Heidi's here, Jeff's here. Hello guys. I think a lot of times. Oh, Heidi, congratulations on your new car, by the way. If you guys haven't seen Heidi on Connect today, she bought a new car. To celebrate, a day in her life that is special to her. And so, it was a great post. So you got to go check out Heidi's post. So Heidi, love you. Hats off to you. Very cool and cool car. So anyway, so let's go talk about Plateau. This is the hard part about Facebook Live is you guys all pop in. I love it. But it's hard it's like a squirrel, right? I start answering one question, and then all of a sudden a squirrel comes running in and talks about BLTs from Susan. But that's exactly it. So I think a lot of times our plateaus are self-induced plateaus where we aren't tracking to the same level of intensity. We're sneaking in a couple bites here and there extra. The difference between losing weight and maintaining weight is only up to 6 points. So if you exercise, sure, that's different, but generally speaking, it's up to 6 points is what you're going to get extra. And for many of us, it's not even that many. So the difference between maintaining your weight and losing weight is only a handful of points. And if you're eating them accidentally and not tracking them, then that is the difference between being on a plateau or not being on a plateau. Jeffrey, how are you? Good to see you, sir. Jane is here. Good to see Jane. Let's see, Steve. Yeah, Steve's got some things to say about plateau. Steve, are you the plateau killer? Is that your mantra? Is that where you go? So, all right. Well, let's dive into the show, and unless you guys got something here, we got a handful of folks ready to go. Get the show in early. Get you guys off to bed. Get the show sent out to the servers. Oh, by the way, I was looking at the server downloads today, and I actually don't have room to store this show, so I got to kind of delete something out of the app. So I'm probably going to delete one of the videos that's in the app, I think is what I'm going to do. So that's my guess as of right now. Otherwise, I'll figure it out. Let me check and see what we have for space left. I think I only have like two. Let's see. Yeah, I have 2.67 meg left of space left on the server to store this episode, and we have today the 26th, so we have 5 more days. So I've got to delete something out of here or upgrade the plan again. I'm probably not gonna. I think I can delete one of the videos, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. Because I don't think, as I look at the download numbers, the videos don't get as many plays. So very cool. Deborah's saying, could you talk sometime on training for a half marathon? For example, how to continue to lose weight in the process. Any tips would be appreciated. Ooh, glad I got that audio. That would have been bad. So how to continue to lose weight in the process. So Deborah, that's a difficult subject. When you start increasing your activity level to run a half marathon, you do need to at that point dig into some Fitpoints. You need to and so Fitpoints are dangerous in my opinion. So if you earn Fitpoints, you don't want to eat them at the same rate that you earn them. I think you eat them at about a quarter of the rate that you earn them if you earn them doing something you didn't previously do. So if you just your general day is 7,000-8,000 step day, you don't eat those Fitpoints. If your average day is a 10,000 step day, you don't eat those Fitpoints. But if you average 10,000 Fitpoints a day, and then all of a sudden you start training for a marathon, and you're now getting 15 to 20,000 steps a day, well then that additional 5 to 10,000, I would say you can eat roughly 25% of those to allow for your increased level of activity. So, because you are going to need to eat more. Let's just face it. If you're running distances for a half marathon, you do need more fuel to fuel your body. Better protein, better foods to do that. But you can't go run 7 miles and think that that gives you a excuse to go eat a full pizza. So that's where I would go with that. It's a great show topic, and it's something that I'll certainly dive into a little more and do a little more research on to do it for there. So we'll go there. Steven, you steal every show you're involved in, man. This is and the cool thing is this is a show for us. So whatever you got, bring it. So Denise, I don't need a server farm. Totally don't. Irene's here. Good to see you. Joanne's here. Correct. And so Catherine, I have 2 options. I can delete the video out of here, or I can just upgrade the server plan. I think, maybe I'll just upgrade the plan. It's only a couple bucks, so it's not that big of a deal. And then all the videos can stay there. So, yeah, Heidi, isn't that true, right? I mean, it's really true, because the Fitpoints can be eaten, but I mean, if you're earning Fitpoints for going to the mailbox and back, then no, that's just part of your normal day. So I say start with 25% of anything you do above and beyond what a normal day would be, and that's where you can kind of work in your Fitpoints. But you've got to know. So, and then Denise said you're training for a full marathon. You eat more the day before the long run and the day after, but that's it. Now, that's exactly it. So a full marathon is considerably different. That's a lot more running. And so you can, let's just say one day of eating a pizza after you run a marathon is not going to impact your journey if your mind's right. If your mind's in the right place, you can go run a half marathon, you can eat a pizza. The problem is eating that pizza isn't about the calories in the pizza. It's about the food addiction that gets reignited when you bring that pizza back into your journey. So if you go run a half marathon and you eat an entire pizza because of it, you can very easily absorb that into your body. Your calorie, your metabolism will burn that pizza off pretty quickly. You may see a gain on the scale the next day, but if you're back right on the plan, it will have no impact in your journey long term. But again, where it impacts is it reignites those bad habits, and the bad habits are I go eat a full pizza after a run, and then the next time I have pizza, I can't stop at one slice or two slices. That's 6 or 7 points. I go for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slices, and that is that's where. So Wendy, glad that answered your question. We'll go ahead and I'll work into the show tonight because there is a I don't know if there's actually I don't know if there's a place to work tonight. I got the show already planned out, so maybe not. But I'll get it into another show would be a good question. Someone email me if you want, not all of you at once, but someone email in on air at fatdag.com and say Fitpoints, and that'll put it in my queue to remind me to get to there. So Jessica, good to have you here. Kirby says just leave the videos on Facebook and audio on your app. Yep, I agree with that too. During your loss, you ate 20 to 25% of your Fitpoints, and you are radical. So Steve, you and I agree completely on the Fitpoint analogy, right? I mean, if I go vacuum the living room, that's not extra Fitpoints. I don't get to go eat a pizza because I vacuum the living room, But if I'm averaging 10,000 steps a day, and all of a sudden this week I get 20,000 steps a day, I can eat 25% of the additional 10,000. So. But yes, and that's exactly it. What Denise says is but then just because I can eat my Fitpoints, then you don't want to go eat a pizza. You should find something healthy to eat with your Fitpoints. And that's more true than anything. I didn't say that earlier. If you're going to eat your Fitpoints, choose the best thing you can choose with them. So very, very cool. So you're in Cheesecake Factory, yeah. So Nicole is in Cheesecake Factory watching FatDag Live. So hey Nicole, let me talk to your server. Right, when the server comes over to order, to put me on, and I will order for you at Cheesecake Factory. And there's definitely no cheesecake. So all right, let's see. Where are we at? So got Denise and Heidi and Kaylin's just barely made it. Woohoo! Gorgeous night in Iowa. Got your Fitpoints in. Good work. Ellen's here. So Ellen, hey, you've never seen it, heard it live. So typical listen to you while you walk. So that's cool. So glad you made it live. And so all right, let's get the show going. Let's get it. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. You guys ready? Let's see here. You know what I forgot? Give me 2 seconds. Time out. I gotta get a water. It's tough to talk for 30 minutes straight without having water, and I can't really drink in the middle of the episode. It's kind of hard, so I have to drink a lot before. Sorry. All right, so that's it. So Nicole. All right, so we're at Cheesecake Factory. We want water to drink, and we would like a bowl of fruit and a grilled chicken breast, no sauce, and a side of whatever vegetable medley you have. So that's what we're having, Nicole. So enjoy. So Joan says you always get in trouble when you exercise for your food. That's exactly it. So if you're working out solely to eat more, the bigger issue isn't the food that you're eating, it's the habit that you haven't broken. So if you work out so that you can have whatever, insert bad, unhealthy food, and you eat that bad, unhealthy food because you've worked out, then you continue to build the addiction and the craving for that bad, unhealthy food, and then when you stop working out, you're still addicted to that bad, unhealthy food. You still have bad habits when it comes to food, and that's where we get in trouble after we reach our goal or get close to it. So, yeah. So, Catherine, I haven't done soda in it's been 2.5 years since I've had my last drop of soda. So that's pretty cool. I was 12 sodas a day. You heard that, right? So 12 sodas a day to 0 overnight. And I don't drink soda anymore. I drink water. All right. Test 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Right. Test 1, 2. That sounds good. And test 1, 2. All right, here we go. You ready? No, that doesn't sound good. Bad, unhealthy food does not make you buff. Nope, it does not. Strength training makes you buff. So, all right, here we go. Get that back there. Oakley. I don't even know if Oakley... That'd be cool if Oakley emailed me, right? I don't know what that has to do with anything, but caught my brain. All right, here we go. I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on why. Starting over. Hey, I can do that, right? Now you got me laughing. I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 74 of Wise Advice, and got a great show for you tonight. We start the show like we do all the time. I try and do a very good job of getting to Facebook Live ahead of time. And so if you're on Facebook at Wise Advice, you can kind of follow along as we do the live show. If you have that ability, great. I know a lot of people aren't on Facebook, so that's why I kind of put it on YouTube after, so you can at least catch the video. But if you're on Facebook, you get to watch it live, and I interact with you before the show to kind of get my mojo going, kind of see where your head's at and see what you want to talk about. And we had a great conversation about Fitpoints, and I'm going to work that into the show, kind of unprompted, unscripted, because it was a really interesting topic. And we, I have a whole episode dedicated to Fitpoints. I don't know what number it is. I'll look it up in a little bit. But there's a whole show dedicated to Fitpoints. But what do we know about Fitpoints is that the difference between maintaining your weight and losing your weight is about 6 Fitpoints. Sorry, 6 points a day. So that's right. When you reach goal, when you hop on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode, and you switch your tracker over to maintenance, you get 6 extra points a day. And those 6 points, you get to determine how many of them you need to maintain your weight. So there are some points when you reach goal, for many of us, activity levels pick up because we start feeling a lot better. We can do things that we couldn't do before. So then we start earning these Fitpoints, and we think we have the ability to eat them. So you get 6 extra points for simply being no longer in a weight loss mode, up to 6 points to work with. And then as your activity increases, you say, how many of those do I want to eat as well? Because let's face it, when you start working out more, you do need more fuel for your body. So rule number 1 when it comes to extra points at your goal weight. Now I preface all this with saying if you are not at your goal weight and your activity level isn't extreme, then use your Fitpoints as extra credit in your weight loss. Use that to frame your mind. Use your activity level to get your mind right and to keep you on plan, not to try and lose weight. But let's say you've made goal. You're at lifetime. You're working out more. What I want you to do with your Fitpoints is I want you to look and see how many you're earning. And if you earn in a typical week, let's say you earn, 10,000 steps a day for a typical week. What I want you to do is anything above that. So if this week is a little intense and you're doing a little more activity and you're now earning 20,000 steps a day, let's just say, because you're running for a half marathon or maybe even a full marathon, well, then you look at that additional 10,000 steps and you start using those and converting those to Fitpoints, and you can eat about a quarter of them. Roughly 25% of those things you can convert to food, but when you do that, you've really got to make a healthy choice. Because what happens to us, if we start working out solely for the sake of getting additional food, what a lot of us end up doing, and what I ended up doing many times, and where I had many troubles on this plan before, is I would work out for the sake of food. I would work out so I could go have pizza. I would work out so I could have extra wings. I would work out so I could drink more soda. And all that did was keep my bad habits alive, and it kept my unhealthy eating alive. All my unhealthy habits, it kept reigniting them. So for so long I'd work the plan. I would lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, whatever it took, and then I would slowly increase my bad habits would creep back in, and I never really truly transformed myself. I never truly broke the addiction to the bad eating habits that got me in this mess in the first place. When we talk about this being a lifestyle, when we say this is a lifestyle journey, what we really mean is that you have to change the way you eat. And if you change the way you eat, then you have to start developing good eating habits. And let's face it, an entire pizza per sitting is not necessarily a good eating habit. So if you go run a half marathon just to solely eat a whole pizza, the habit is never really broken. The addiction is never really broken. And then the days you don't run the half marathon, you struggle again to rechange your lifestyle and rechange your habits. So when it comes to Fitpoints, that's where we're going to talk here. When it comes to Fitpoints, anything above and beyond a typical week, that's where you can kind of experiment. Start with 25%. See where those are, and you only do this when you get to your goal weight so that you see exactly what impact it has. If you're still working towards your goal, then again, know that you've done some extra credit in your weight loss mode. Those Fitpoints will get you there. So that's what we're going to talk about, Fitpoints. And so, there are many people out there. I see on Facebook, Kathleen writes in that she's run a marathon and 20 pounds overweight and fully trained. You can do that. You absolutely can do that. So keep up the great work. I mean, running and exercise, all of that can be done long before you hit your goal weight. That wasn't the intent of the topic. The intent was to tell you that as your activity increases, your hunger increases. Make the best choice with those extra points. And use roughly a quarter of anything above and beyond what you've normally eaten, and go from there and experiment. The whole part of this process is we have to figure out what works for us, right? So whatever someone tells you to do, you have to take that as a guide and experiment with it and go from there. So that's where we go on Fitpoints. Now, Diane writes in, and Diane says, "Hi, Mike. I kind of feel like we are good friends, even though we are missing the small detail involving a face-to-face meeting. I just want to let you know what's going on with me. In August, I'm moving from Illinois to my home in New Orleans. I'm very happy to be rejoining my family and friends after 16 years of living in the Midwest. Happily, I am returning home at my desired weight, and I have not had a craving for a Reese's peanut butter cup in over 4 months. I can wear whatever I want. The home that we are moving into has a pool, and I can't wait to buy a new bathing suit and go swimming. I am not ashamed of being seen in a public pool, and I don't plan to feel that way ever again. My life is transformed, and my relationship with my body is much changed. I just earned my second degree at 55 years of age, and I'm planning to look for a job as a web designer or IT technician. Everything is different, and it's all due to how I've treated my body and my mindset. As a Weight Watcher employee, I hope to transfer to the New Orleans area and exercise my roles of leader, receptionist, and/or personal coach. If there's no need for me, however, then I will be content to be a member in a meeting room, which is what I am anyways. I will continue to use your support on my journey. I will continue also to keep in touch with you as I like the process of touching base with you just like a big brother. I never had a brother, and I always wanted one. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Thank you for opening yourself up as much as you have. It's not an easy thing to do for everyone. You've done it brilliantly, and I think your words resonate with a lot of members. Your show has created a huge space for members to be and explore a tool that is so important to us all, the reason for being. Isn't that really what your why is, your reason for being? It's the reason we want to get up every day, the reason we want a job that pays our worth, the reason we put good food in our bodies and expend energy to exercise it so that we are strong enough to tackle whatever life challenges we have next to tackle. Our why is the key. In my meetings, I call something as important as this the key to the kingdom. It provides the good life by fueling our wants to create what we need to have that why realized. So thank you for opening up this conversation even further than Weight Watchers has. I know I'm very grateful to have you as my wingman, and I'm definitely down with assuming that role for you as well. Diane. Well, Diane, first off, congratulations on the move. That's exciting. How cool is it going to be when you move back to your hometown as a whole different person? You're at your goal weight. You're buying bathing suits. You're hopping in a pool. You feel completely different. You look completely different. It's going to be such a joy when you start over in a new town, even though it's a familiar town. You've been gone for quite a while. When you start over, you walk in as a person at goal. You leave that weight loss story behind, even though you're never going to forget it. I get that part of it. But when you meet new people, the story doesn't come up. They instantly accept you for someone who's at goal and living a healthy life. Now, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through here, and I really appreciate what you said about, let's focus on the why. And Weight Watchers kind of led me in that direction. And like I said in the opening of my show, that my weight loss journey failed every time I focused on how. If I learned a food hack and I learned a food trick and I said, make this because it's only 1 point versus this versus 2 points, all this, I didn't know why I was doing that. I knew how I could do it, and the how got me very close to goal many times, but it never was strong enough to hold my attention. So once I figured out on this journey that the why is what got me to goal, everything I did revolved around the why. And I always say this, if you know why you're doing it, the how just shows up. I've said this before, the how is different every meal. Every single meal, the how I'm going to get to goal and how I'm going to stay at goal is different. But what's important to me is that I never, ever have to worry about failing a PT test ever again. And in your case, you never, ever have to worry about putting on a bathing suit in public, right? You know it's going to look good. You know it's going to fit good. You're doing fantastic work, and that is your why. So you're feeling amazing. I know that. And so I'm excited to hear about your journey. I know when you get to New Orleans, if you have the right mindset, which you clearly do, it would be a shame if your services are not put to use as to continue being a leader. I'm certain when you get down there and you talk to the folks and you get settled in a custom, they're going to want you to bring you on the team. So keep up the great work. It's very, very cool that you said, you continue to use and keep in touch and think of it like a big brother, because I think that a lot of us in this journey is what really makes it so real is that we can relate to each other. The hashtag better together, that means something, right? And I fully agree that better together is how we got here. And so when I followed this journey the first time, the first few times I did it alone. It wasn't until I got into Connect and Connect taught me how to look for my why that I got there. So absolutely, let's stay in touch. Let's stay connected, and let's get it done. So Diane, great job living a great, healthy life of lifetime. Your mindset is key, and I can tell that'll keep you there for a long, long time. Karen writes in, and Karen says, "Hi, Mike. Thank you for your podcast and your inspiration. We have connected online at the Weight Watcher Connect since early 2016. I joined Weight Watchers December 31st, 2015, online only. Sorry I missed the Facebook Live of the podcast. I connected with you immediately on Connect as my husband was in the Air Force as well. I have been online for the last 17 months. My why has driven me to heights I've never known. Both of my parents passed on their respective 66th birthday. I joined 2 weeks after my 65th birthday. I was going to break that family tradition. My 2 precious grandchildren are worth a healthy lifestyle to play with them. I was truly a couch potato at 279 pounds. I lost 10 pounds, then 20 pounds on different meds before Weight Watchers. I was on diabetes medication. My starting weight was 237, size 24. I'm currently down 71 pounds and a size 14. I walk 3 to 4 miles a day, multiple muscle strength training, some days with weights. I am off diabetes medication. My A1C is down to 5.4 from 6.8. The Connect family has been my virtual leader as there is a plethora of motivation and inspiration. My determination spiritually has guided me through this journey. I hope to lose about another 20 pounds to reach goal and will start the meetings in a few weeks to obtain goal and lifetime. Although I do not receive the bling from the meetings, I reward myself with new sizes in my wardrobe. Thank you for all you do for this country. Connect yourself, your family, and me. Karen. And then Karen ends it with some garbage at the bottom. She says, I'm a proud New York Yankees and New York Giants fan. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't know. Apparently it means something to her. So I kind of will throw it in there because she threw it in her email. But go Red Sox and go Patriots. Let's just go get that knocked out. Karen, phenomenal work, right? Very, very proud of you. Your why, and seeing your parents pass at your 66th birthday, and you recognizing that you have the ability to change your family tree. You have the ability to make a difference in your life, and your starting weight at 234 and a size 237 and a size 24, you dropped 71 pounds. You didn't do that by accident. 71 pounds is focus, is dedication, is determination, and you got it done by staying engaged in the process. You did that because you focused on your why. Your why was strong enough to carry you down. Your why was you stayed focused, you got there, and as a result, you have regained some health benefits that were previously unattainable for you. So, down off your medication, that's got to be huge. When you walk in your doctor and your doctor takes you off of your diabetes medication, you have to understand that you did that, right? No one else did that but you. So when all the sacrifice that you've made as you start working to change your healthy lifestyle, you were rewarded when your A1C count went from 5.4 down to 5.4 from 6.8. That's incredible work. Now let's continue on your mindset. Let's continue focusing on your why, because that clearly got you to where you need to be. But when you end your email and you say you hope to lose another 20 pounds and reach goal, I've said it before, hope is not a plan. You didn't hope to lose 71 pounds. You worked your tail off to lose 71 pounds. You didn't lose it by luck. It has nothing to do with luck. You woke up every single morning focused, engaged, determined, disciplined to get this done. That is what it's going to take to get these last 20 pounds off. Has nothing to do with hope, has nothing to do with luck. So continue doing what you're doing, stay focused, and you'll get it there. So Karen, way to go. I'm super duper proud of you. Happy New Year for joining on December 31st of 2015. What a great year. It's a phenomenal year. It's the year you took charge and took care of your life. You've got to celebrate that for a long time. Congratulations. Tammie writes in, and Tammie says, I'm struggling. Plateau since the end of March. I'm getting discouraged. Still tracking and exercising. What can I try? Tammie, first and foremost, let's talk about episode 72. If you're not tuned into that, then I would say go back and listen to episode 72 first. Let's get that one in and get that into your brain, get that process. But let's talk about a plateau. There's a such thing as a plateau. It's a real thing. I think a lot of times we mistake a real plateau for our inability to stay on the plan the way we were when we started. We start the plan on fire. We get really motivated. We track everything. We make sure we go to our meeting. We weigh everything. We pass on a lot of the things that we don't think we should have on the plan. And we are really disciplined. We start getting some success on the plan. Complacency sets in. Complacency says, I look good. I feel better. I'm down 15, 20 pounds, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden you reach for one extra French fry. You reach for an extra peanut butter cup. You reach for an extra Hershey's Kiss, and you don't track it. And the difference between maintaining your weight and losing weight is up to 6 points a day. So generally, that's when a lot of us are hitting this plateau. We're hitting the plateau because we are not working the plan. If you look on Connect, you'll see a lot of the posts from the, I'm not one, but if you see a lot of folks other than the Weight Watcher ambassador folks, they got the hashtag or the disclaimer at the bottom of their email. It says Weight Watchers members can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week if they're following the program. So if you're not following the program as designed, then that could be where you're at. So let's get back to the very, very basics. Very, very basics is we track everything, we weigh everything, we measure everything, we estimate portion sizes properly. If you're doing that, then you're on a plateau, then we got to look at it a little differently. But generally speaking, I think many of us who are on a plateau, we're just not working the plan to the same level of intensity. Now, let's talk about a legitimate plateau. If you're on a legitimate plateau, you're tracking properly, you're exercising properly, you're doing everything right, and you're still on a plateau, then that's fantastic work. That's where you need to be. There is 2 ways to break a plateau, right? You can either gain weight or you can lose weight. Maintaining weight is a great feeling. If we're maintaining our weight, that's fantastic work. So, but if you're riding a plateau, then all of a sudden you say, okay, if I stick with this, if I continue tracking, if I continue exercising, then you will eventually, the plateau has to break at some point. Increase your activity, maybe continue then at looking with the food, but when you break the plateau and you break it with a weight loss, it feels really good. On a plateau and quitting the program because you're frustrated with it, will certainly lead to a new start date. It'll certainly lead to you rejoining. So stay away from the complacency trap. Focus on your blue dots. Focus on your tracker. Look at the foods that are in your tracker. Focus heavily on estimating properly your portion sizes. Weigh and measure where you need to. And go after this with the energy that you had on day 1. Day 1, week 1, week 2, out of the gate, you are strong. If you're not still working the plan to that level of intensity, then that's where I would ask you to go. Go focus on that and get it done. Tammie, thank you for your email. The cool thing is you absolutely have the ability to get this done. I believe you can do it. So go do it. Next up, Barby writes in and she says, hi, Mike. Thank you for the postcard. I was happy to help in any way. I admire our military very much. I hope your meeting went well. I was just saying today when I wanted a little popcorn, you're saying about when you're out of points. I even said it out loud and walked away from the popcorn. So now I can put your saying up on the fridge along with the other one that you sent me. I was on an 8-day plateau, but that is okay, no worries. And I ate clean through it all. The weight is moving now, and though I am down 47 pounds and a hair away from 40 pounds off. I don't exercise heavy since my heart arrhythmia are an issue, but I do walk and lift 5-pound weights every other day, and it has come off. Now on to 50 pounds off. I hope you are doing well. Barby. So Barby, here we go. So we've talked about this many times through email back and forth. You do not have to exercise to get this plan to work. This plan works very well if you simply are mindful to what you're eating, you are engaged in the process, you're tracking everything you eat. That is what's going to get you to maintain and lose your weight to get to goal. Now, any activity we can do on top of that certainly does help. More often than not, it helps with our mindset. It helps keep our head in the game. So I'm glad to see that you're just walking more in a 5-pound weight. That's all you have to do. So when we look at this program, I've said this a couple times as well, when we look at this program, we think we have to exercise. The definition of exercise means we put on gym shoes, put on gym shorts, and we go work out. But there are things we can do that are called movement, and we can increase our movement without doing a dang thing when it comes to exercise. So the clothes you're wearing right now, you can move more in them. You know, a few extra steps here and there, it all adds up, so you're doing very well. Now let's address the second paragraph in here. When you're saying that you wanted a little popcorn, and you recognize the saying of when you're out of points, stop eating points. Man, you recognize that on your own, and that is the power. That is what's gotten you close to 50 pounds gone. Because what's happening is you are now in control. When we say on Weight Watchers, you can have whatever it is you want. We mean that, right? You can eat whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. Don't you want to be in control? Isn't that what you want? So for me, when I'm at a point to stop eating points, that's what got me to goal, because I wanted more than anything else. I wanted to rid myself of the shame and the embarrassment and all those issues that I carried around for so long. So when someone says you can have whatever you want on Weight Watchers, I say I do. I have the freedom. I have the control. I have the ability to maintain my weight. Boy, that is something else. So when you, in your own right, when you recognize that, you've now made goal. That's right. So the scale doesn't know. The scale hasn't caught up yet, and that's irrelevant. We don't care about the scale number per se. But in your mind, you've made goal because you now understand what it takes to win. So continue doing everything that you've done to get to where you are. If you've lost 48 pounds, you didn't do it on accident. You did it with focus, discipline, dedication, determination, and that will carry you to goal. So great job, Barby. Glad to hear from you. Keep up the amazing work, and let me know when you get to goal. I know you can do that. Now, folks, if you're listening, depending on where you're catching this show, if you're on the Facebook live feed watching it right now, that's cool. Thank you for that. Otherwise, it's going to be a replay for the rest of you. It'll be in the podcast app. Go to the App Store if you haven't already. Go to your Google Play Store, your Apple Store. Search for Wise Advice. You'll download the app. It's completely free. It's my gift to you because, as I said more than once, the Connect community completely saved my life. I don't know where I would be without them. So I want to make sure this show becomes available to anyone who wants to have access to it. I don't care. I'm not looking for you to give back in any sort of way. I just want you to get to goal. When you get to goal, when you maintain your goal, and when you get to that point in your life, you'll recognize the feeling I have at that point. That is so powerful. It's something that I want you to have. So the app is out there for you to get there. It's on iHeartRadio. If you're on iHeartRadio, thank you for listening there. Stitcher Radio. You can subscribe. But however you're tuned into the show, I appreciate you continuing to share it so that other people know that it's out there, and we continue to work this program together because we are better together, and we celebrate together, we laugh together, we cry together. It's just part of this community that no one else understands. We are a special community, and folks who walk this journey with you because you know how to get there. You know how to get to goal, and the goal should be the goal, right? Getting to a place where you hop on the scale and you never ever want to lose weight again. That is an amazing feeling. And when you get there, it's not about a number, it's about a feeling, and you will recognize it. So when you get to goal, I want to hear from you. As you struggle along the way, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling, and we work them in as part of the show. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments. You can email me in at onair@FatDag.com. But that is going to do it for this time. Remember, losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. All right, 27 minutes. Wow. Crazy. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so let me go all the way back. Well, not all the way to the top. Linda says hi, or Linda says good night. I'm going to come back and go up to see where we scrolled through and I lost you. But let's see, and then I'll kind of, I tell you that the hardest thing about this is I'm looking right at the camera when I'm talking. And when I say something, I try and work your comments in, kind of. But it gets me, what's the word? It gets me, I don't know, just messes with my brain. How's that? Sidetracked. That's what I was looking for. All right, so, yeah, that's, Kaylin, that's, we talk about outtakes, right? So take two, I had to go, I forgot, I was trying to read it, and I said something, I don't even remember what I said now. But yeah, I had to refocus and re-get it done. I did. I just was sitting there going, I was like, what's going on? So maybe I'll put that, if you're on the app, I will I'll splice out that piece of, the whole thing will go to Facebook. Never mind. I was going to say I'll put that piece in the app, but that's a lot of work to splice it all out. So you guys get to see it live. Good for y'all. Very cool. So let's go to David. I saw you pop in. It looks like here's where I ended up. So it says, Donna says, stressful day, ate most of the snacks I had in my cooler bag. Couldn't stop. How do I break the mood and stop eating? So Donna, that's the hardest part of this program, right? It's the term. I hope Donna's still here to hear this, but if not, she'll catch it later. But the hardest part of this program is to stop eating points when you're out of points. The reason that is so powerful is because if you get to the point where just like you did, you have a stressful day, you reach in your cool bag, you eat everything in it. That happens, right? We've all been there. We've all done it. If at that point you understand the term, when you're out of points, you stop eating points, and you focus very heavily on from that point on for the rest of the day to only eat 0 point items, or to completely, if you need to eat some, which I disagree with, but hey, it's your plan, do what you need to do. If you need to eat some, you do, but if the best you can do to eat 0 point items and or nothing for the rest of the day, then the next day that happens, you'll remember that feeling. You'll remember that you had to go to bed at 6 o'clock at night because you were out of points. You'll remember that you had to eat pickles for dinner because you were out of points. And the next time you want to reach in your cooler at noon and eat everything, you'll say, if I eat everything, then that means I'm not going to have dinner. One of the questions I ask myself all the time is, would I rather have, this or dinner, or this or goal? And so it's a great analogy. And so sometimes in the middle of the day when I see a peanut butter cup on the office at work, I go, that's 12 points. If I eat that, I can't have dinner tonight. Would I rather have that or dinner? And so I only know that because there are times when I've chosen that accidentally, or whatever the word is, habitually. And so that forced me to not eat dinner that night. And I remember that. I remember, days I missed dinner because I had peanut butter cups for lunch. And so now I don't do that anymore. So that's how I would say, Donna, is you've got to track everything. And you really have to focus pretty heavily on when you're out of points, stop eating points. So, all right, so let's see. So you guys are all laughing at the Monday restart. There we go. Let's see. Keeping it real. Yep. So yeah, with Darcy, we talked about eating Fitpoints, right? So hopefully you caught that piece. Jeff says, Wednesday night begins my attendance goal journey to strengthen my body. Jeff, I've been doing strength training since July, and man, I love it. It's really, really fun stuff. So, yeah, Paula, I had to restart. I said something like my weight loss journey failed when I focused on why something. I forget what I said. I just forgot the entire opening to the show. Let's see. So Denise is talking about Fitpoints. Marianne's here. Hello. Kathleen's here. I think I worked Kathleen's comment into the show. Yeah, you don't eat Fitpoints just to eat them. Let's see. So Wendy's here. Yep, Kathleen says you can't outrun your fork. That's so true. We all know that, right? Karen here. Karen, I saw you pop in as I read your email. Very cool. All right, so no editing. The full episode will be out there. Yep, it'll be out there. Don't worry. So Steve's asked, I'm a meeting leader. Why does Weight Watchers rarely mention weekly and Fitpoints at meetings? I don't know. I've mentioned them at all my meetings all the time. So don't have an answer for you. And I say the same thing I told you here, is that your weekly points are there to be eaten, and your Fitpoints are there to be figured out once you reach your goal weight. So, or if you're doing something extreme on your way to goal. If you're, even if you're not at goal yet and you're working out in an extreme fashion, and I mean, something that you don't usually do, then you need to experiment with how many of those you need. But it's like everything else. You try it for a couple of weeks, and if you don't like the results you're getting, then you got to shake it up. Neetha, my why, yes, episode 12 and 54 would be my why. So go ahead and listen to episode 12 first, and then 54 second, and you'll know exactly why I'm doing this. If you go to FatDag.com, you can read it as well. That's out there too. Yeah, Ellen, it's number 12. So thank you for covering for me. Yep, episode 12. You guys got it. You guys are good. Yep, episode 12. You wonder about his Z's, his X, Y's, and Z's. Hey, that's a great term. Not a plateau, a platform, right? How do you? I know it's hard to pronounce, but a platform, a faux plateau. There we go, a faux plateau. That's what we'll say. Yeah, but plateaus are a real thing, but many of our plateaus are self-induced. So Katie's here. Were you out walking, Katie? Linda says hi. Paula's here. Donna made it in. Whoop whoop. Nicole says episode 54 was the best. So cool. Thank you. Stephen says Nicole said something about she sent me her Y, so I don't know. I got to see if I can find that. Wendy, glad you learned some good stuff. That's what we're here for. Distracted. Yep, that was the word I was looking for. Mary Ann was distracted. So Catherine, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So keep up the great work. So, yep, Marianne, it's right here. So I have a system so your voicemail comes in as an email, and the email gets processed in the order that the other emails are in. So I can, let me see here. Let me see if I go to Google real quick. Right here. Let me see. No, so I gotta find your voicemail. It's in here. Here you go, Marianne, if you're still there. Let's see.
Sorry, Mike, that was my GPS. Hey, this is Mary Ann Company.
All right, so Mary, I got your voicemail. I can read it on my screen. So you hit 100.4 total loss today at your 9 o'clock meeting. Woo-woo! That is incredible. 100.4 pounds gone. So Marianne, great work. I will certainly get that worked into. I got the next 4 shows are already planned out, but we'll get that planned in. So very, very nice. Great work. If you do call in and leave me that, so you gave me your last name. So I don't use last names on the show for your own privacy. So I will not, I will probably not use your audio, but I'll get it worked in for sure. Very, very cool. So these are called iBobs. So if you've never heard of iBobs, go to ibob.com. I bought them in the mall. I saw them and I was like, oh, I like them. So hey, if your iBob people are listening, email me. That'd be fun. Mr. Peanut, thanks. I like it. A photo is that's what Stephen calls it, a photo. Yes, so 8:45 you'll go for, so we're early, Katie, so you can go run later. Taryn says hi. Donna says thank you, you're welcome. Yep, so Marianne, I saw it. So 100.4 pounds loss. Great, great, great job there. I didn't see your picture from Cheesecake Factory, Nicole. There it is. It's in my inbox. Huh, you really are, that's funny. Let's see. So Nicole sent a picture of, I'm going to put that on I'll put that on Facebook, Nicole. It's a picture of me ordering Cheesecake Factory through Wise Advice at that's pretty funny. All right, so when you're done watching this, go to my my Facebook feed and you'll see this picture get posted. Maybe I can put it on Connect as well. So, all right, cool. Looks like we made it all the way to the very bottom. What else do you have before I log off for the night? If you have anything else, let's work it in. Otherwise, I will get the show wrapped up, and it is 10:30, which is early, and you guys can have the show blooper free to listen to. So very, very cool. All right, well, that's going to do it here. It looks like nothing else popping in. So thank you, as always, for being here. It's going to be nice to get a good night's sleep for a little while. It's been a while since I've done that. Always looking forward to that. I don't want the bill from Cheesecake Factory. No way. Too much. But here's where we're going to end it, right? We end it the same way we ended all the other times, is that you guys know how to do this stuff, right? What we're doing here is not rocket science. It's very simple to do on paper. When you interject life into it, life becomes difficult, and life is the part that makes it difficult. But when you heard in the show, where was it? I want to go look at it because that was interesting. When you hear Barby say, she said that when she wanted a little popcorn, you're saying about when I was out of points, and she even said it out loud. That is the powerful part. So we all know that if you're out of points, you can't eat points, but the actual control of saying, you know what, not tonight. That is what carries you to goal. And so I'm very proud of her because by her recognizing that and her saying it out loud, I assure you the second she said it, she felt like she was on cloud nine. It doesn't say it in her email, but I'm positive that for the first time when you start getting control of your life and you start saying, you know what, I am not eating this, I can have it. Sure, nothing's going to stop me from eating it, but I want to make goal more than I want to have popcorn. And I can have popcorn tomorrow. I just got to work it into my plan. So when you stop eating points, when you're out of points, it allows you to plan. And that is the powerful piece. And when you start doing that regularly, you will make goal. You absolutely will make goal. You can have whatever you want. And what you should want is to reach goal. So go after it. Go get it. More than anything, this journey has nothing to do with luck. You know that. I wish you good focus. Good night.